played. Feels, Mo, like not just a really significant day, but a really significant weekend. How big a result do you think that is?
It's incredible. It's a very hard place to come and play here. Tough team. They have an incredible manager. They dominate the game. I think they can dominate any game here. But I'm glad in the end we managed to win the game.
How did you do it, Dom? Particularly interested actually in your role, because it looked like yourself and Curtis Jones almost like both false nines or both as 10s.
No, that was the plan. We played with 2 10s. As Mo said, they managed the game almost 90%. So, but at the end, the result is for us, and we are happy to take the 3 points home.
Even though they dominated a lot of the ball, did you kind of feel in control of it? Did you feel sort of fairly safe, like you were managing them pretty well?
Well, we were defending on our probably 30 meters from our goal. But we just gave everything. We knew that's going to happen, and it's part of the game. Sometimes you don't have always the ball, especially against City away. So, as I said, happy to take the 3 points.
So, Mo, they've caused you a lot of pain over the years. And to be fair, you've caused them some as well. But what does it mean to come here and win?
It's special, to be fair, especially when you're running to the title race. It's incredible. They won like 4 in a row now. It's an incredible team. But hopefully we just keep calm, because sometimes the pressure get into us. So hopefully we just keep calm and just play our game and try to win each game.
Is that key, Dom, that you stay calm now? You heard the fans at the end singing, we're going to win the league. I can tell you that us in the media are going to get a bit giddy. You guys have got to go out and win, 7, 8, 9 more games. So you're the ones that have to stay cool.
I didn't hear it. I was so tired. So
you are exhausted, aren't you?
No, we have to keep going. It's gonna be a tough game home against Newcastle, and then as you said, 11 more games to go. It's never end. So we have to keep calm. We have to keep going. We have to take the games by game, and at the end, hopefully, we're going to be on the top.
Just tell us about your contribution today. I'd say you're one of the unsung heroes of this team, but a really nicely weighted flick to make the corner routine happen, and then a goal of your own as well.
No, he just said it was not the best assist. I gave it to him.
What?
The ball was not supposed to come in that area.
Oh, well, I mean...
No, I'm kidding.
No, we practiced it yesterday, and... hopefully we can do it even more times. Finally, he could also find me. It's not happened all the time. But I'm happy to score also and give him an assist.
Yeah, he's having a little dig back there, Mo, isn't he?
He's still a kid, so I wouldn't give him back, so it's fine.
Do you know what? I've run out of questions for you, really. But you're now at 30 goals for the season, all competitions, 5th time in 8 seasons. Are you better than ever?
I don't know. It's opinion. Maybe people prefer my first season. People prefer now, but I think I prefer now because it's just winning the league, you doing your best, and helping the team, helping young players as well. It's incredible. Probably this year. Yeah.
Do you need another title? And does it feel close now?
I wouldn't say it feels close. It's just like we need another title for sure. Me and the big guys here in the team, we need another title. But we'll give it our best and we'll give it a good shot and we'll see.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Player of the match amid some controversy and a slightly angry Szoboszlai. Mo Salah.
Again, thank you. Thank you.
All smiles, a very happy dressing room. It's interesting, he said that before, we need more titles as the senior players.
Yes.
When you look at some of the great players who played for Liverpool and not won the league, they've still only got one.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it? When you have a history like Liverpool have, and you're always trying to emulate the past, and if you go to Anfield, if you go to the training ground, there's pictures of the past all over the walls of the academies with ex-managers and ex-players lifting trophies, and that's all it is. Manchester City have been very, very dominant with a wonderful manager, and Liverpool have ran them close a couple of times, and they've won other trophies. But the league is very important to the fans, very important, and they're getting very close to it now. But it's the sign of a good team that they have been consistent for the last few years, isn't it? Even though they haven't been able to catch Manchester City on a number of occasions, their consistency levels have been excellent, and the new managers came in, give them whatever he's give them, a little 5% extra, and they're absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah, and is that the right message? Stay calm, keep ticking them off, keep winning these games?
It's boring, isn't it? But it's right. You know, it's the only thing you can do, I guess. You know, there's no point thinking of what's going to happen in 6-7 games' time. It's like, right, who's next? Start preparing, start recovering from this game, start preparing that. It is a bit Groundhog Day, but that's the life of a footballer. And of course, every game is different. You know, different challenges, home, away, in Europe, you know, in different cup competitions. So there's plenty to keep you stimulated, but it really is focus on the next one. Who is it? Right, let's prepare for it.
How do you stay sort of non-human, if you like, in the situation when you're going for a title and you've got a gap like they have and you can look at it tonight and think, wow, 11 points, or do you not look at it and don't think like that?
Well, unfortunately, I never had an 11-point gap when I won any of mine, but in regards to the focus, you just have to do your job, and like Mo was saying there, as long as you're doing that and focus on the next game and not get carried away and drawn onto what could be this season in terms of the league, the Champions League, the League Cup. You just have to focus on individual games. Like Mo said, it doesn't sound glamorous, but it's what's got them this far. So I'm sure that is the comments. And
there's no time to even think about it. You know, the home today, preparation for Wednesday. You know, they'll be in. They're not having any days off where they can go out and think about things. They're in tomorrow. They're recovering, and then they're at well, thankfully they're at Anfield. They don't have to travel, and they're playing a team who played earlier today in Newcastle, and their form's better, and they're at home, so the crowds will be more excited now every time they play, particularly at Anfield. So that has to just take care of itself, really. The PSG game's next week, and then there's an international break in a couple of weeks. That's when you hopefully, if you're not gone on international duty, the manager will say, right, here's a few days off. Get yourself to a beach or get yourself somewhere where you can have some downtime and recover.
And I think individually, you'd be lying if you didn't say you thought about the points gap and thought about winning the league. And, you know, when you're driving into training, your mind's wandering and you're thinking, right, if we beat them, we only need this. You do think about it in your own time, but you never discuss it amongst the lads. When you're in the dressing room, you don't say, hey, lads, we only need X amount of wins and things like that. That's almost put to the side. But I think when you're in your own time, then you do think about it as an
The fans are, aren't they? The fans are singing it today, loud and proud, weren't they? And they feel that this weekend, even though we're still in February, this weekend is like the pivotal weekend. Arsenal lost, Forest have lost, you know, the top second, third and fourth all lost and Liverpool have won. So the fact that they're 11 games in now to go and 11 points clear, everybody will be starting to think about it now, definitely.
Well, when you look at the fixtures, the figures of history, you can see why Liverpool fans are singing it, because when you look at this type of lead, at this type of stage of the season, after 27 games, there you go, 11 points or more, and each and every one of those teams have gone on to be champions.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a catastrophic end to the season for Liverpool if obviously they don't go on to collect it now. And Macca's right, this has been a huge pivotal weekend, but it wasn't meant to be in many ways, was it? You know, it's almost like Liverpool.
Well, Arsenal were hoping it was the other way around.
Exactly, Liverpool had the hard one. You know, that they had the hardest game. So you were thinking, as a Liverpool fan, I'm sure all Liverpool fans were thinking, if we can just keep them at arm's distance, we can match Arsenal's result, let's say, it would have been an amazing weekend. But to reverse it and to go 3 points further clear is magical. And as you say, look at that. I mean,
it's the teams chasing as well, Mo, isn't it? The teams chasing Liverpool are not playing well.
There's no form behind them.
There's no one coming on a mad charge who are playing well, who are full of confidence. Everybody's losing games. Everybody's losing and allowing Liverpool to just go further and further clear. So when Liverpool draw a game and have a blip, someone loses. You know, so no one's getting any closer to them. First, it could have been 5 points. In 24 hours, it's now 11. So, you know, you just feel as if the teams below are going to keep on dropping points.
Yeah, remarkably. All of the rest of the top four lost this weekend. Yeah. But Liverpool didn't. Curtis Jones, who's waiting to speak to us live at the Etihad Stadium. Macca is very excited here, Curtis. Well, you can see the big smile. Well done. How good does that feel to go to the Etihad, the home of the champions, and win like that?
Feels amazing, yeah, as everybody knows, you know, we've always came here, it's always been hard, but and today was again, you know, it was a hard game, but yeah, we came out on top, so I'm happy with that.
And the way you got those goals in the first half? Yeah,
we always knew it was going to be a hard game and just going to have all the ball, but our plan was, you know, it was all about here. Of course, it was going to be hard, but any chance that we get, you know, we have to go and break and we have to go and score. That's what that's what we've done. So we win.
Curtis, well played today. Just looking at that first goal, we were sort of discussing, was it you that was supposed to be on the end of that, or was it always meant for Mo Salah? We just heard an interview between Dominik Szoboszlai and Mo Salah, and they were joking whether it wasn't planned quite like that.
Nah, it was planned like that, but in training is like we basically done the same thing, but then Mo's touch was bad. So then it fell into me at the edge, and then I scored. So then I was telling Mo, I was like, Mo, look, just do the exact same thing. But yeah, I mean, fell to him there and he went and scored. So I'm happy. That's fine.
Brilliant.
And Curtis, it's Macca. So unfortunate for your goal. Did you have a feeling that Dominik may have been offside?
Yeah, just a touch, you know. That's why I weren't really going mad, or you didn't see a knee slide, anything like that. I was half just calm. But yeah, it's one of them things, you know. It's important that it's all about the team. Yeah, it would have been nice if I had the goal, but it's fine. We still won.
Oh, you still made the run, mate. It was a great run. So you know you were there just in case.
Because I'm playing as a 9, that's what I do.
Exactly. You're like the under 18s and the 21s. You're goal scoring now. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think so, but at the same time, you know, I'd like to score even more and assist even more. But you know, it's one of them games that I didn't really have the ball a load, so it was more about I had to press right, I had to get back and help. And if I had the chance to score a goal, you know, I knew I was always going to be there at the end of it. And yeah, that's what I tried. But unfortunately, it was offside. But again, as I said, the important thing is that we came away with a huge win.
Curtis, when Liverpool won the Premier League title, I think you were involved 6 times that season. You were in and around the squad that was successful. This time you're a far more integral player. Did you get that similar feeling? Different manager, same dressing room?
Yeah, I mean, the feeling that is all the same. But on the personal point, yeah, I'm just happy that I've helped more. Of course, you know, I'm a lad who wants to be involved in all sorts. You know, I want to help with goals, I want to help with assists, I want to play all the games. You know, if it's a cup games, the Champions League game, if it's the Prem game as well. And the first time that we won, of course, you know, I was glad, but I didn't feel that I played a huge part. Now, you know, I'm involved even more and playing more games. You know, I've helped with goals and assists, so that's the important thing, I think.
Curtis, it's Joleon. I see you obviously enjoying your football this season. What's been the biggest factor for that change in previous years?
I think the biggest thing is trust, you know. Trust. You see the games here that you know that I've played. I don't play as a 9, but he's used me there as a 9 ball, a 9.5, a 10 kinda. Yeah, and that just shows the trust. He sees me train every day. You know, of course, fans always want all the goals and all the assists, but unfortunately, I'm around lads who take all the goals and the assists, which is fine as well. But you know, I'm a big part of the team. You know, helping in different ways. You know, I'm comfy on the ball. That's being a big finger man. So it's about just using that in the right way, and then having the trust of the manager and the rest of his staff, and of course then the lads as well around. You know, they speak to me now as being more of a man and not a kid around the team. So yeah, as I said there, I think it's all about the trust.
And just finally, Curtis, what a weekend. Arsenal losing yesterday, you winning at the Etihad today, and you're finishing at 11 points clear at the top of the table.
Yeah, it's a great week, but it just these games as it comes. We just have to win all of our games, and then we'll be fine. If teams around us drop points and lose games and draw, then that's with them. But our thought and our mind is just win every single game. We go out there, we run. We don't think, oh yeah, we've kind of got games spared, and we've got points to play with. It's never that. It's just each game as it comes. We just take care of it. That is hold the team. At the end of the game there, Virgil just spoke as well and just basically said the same thing. It's just each game as it comes, and just make sure that we win all of our games, then we'll be fine. So every game as it comes, and you'll see at the end of the season.
Certainly will. Very well played today. Thanks again for joining us.
Take care.
Congratulations.
Well done, Curtis Jones, live at the Etihad. Speaking very well, and you were mentioning, joking there, he's under 18. You've seen his come through the... lot was made about Liverpool not making many signings, but he's almost like a new signing. The regularity he's been featuring under Arne Slot, perhaps compared to the last couple of years under Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, people get obsessed with new signings, don't they? It's like, we need to buy more players, but I think the coaching staff and Arne Slot, and certainly the sporting directors and everybody concerned at Liverpool, involved at Liverpool, knew they didn't need much. They didn't need much. They knew that Gravenberch was a year older at Liverpool. Gakpo was the same. Endo was the same. So they knew they were getting better. And then you've got Curtis and Harvey Elliott, who have been on the periphery but are now older, more wise, more experienced, and can do a great job. So it's actually very clever. You don't need to bulk up a squad when you... Otherwise, if you have too many players, i.e. like a Chelsea, it just gets in the way. Liverpool have got a real streamlined squad, and everybody who comes in has an impact. And you see the bench today. They've been stacked on the bench, but also they've stayed clear of injuries, and that you have to give credit to Arne Slot with his medical science people around him, because he trusts them and he listens to them. And, that's really helped them going forward. Everybody who comes on does, slots into the team, pardon the pun, seamlessly. Don't the Endo's come on and done a great job, doesn't moan. There's no negativity that comes out of Liverpool. If you're not playing, nobody's moaning. They're just all in it together and they're all just rolling forward. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, Arne Slot brought his director of medicine specifically with him from Holland. And it's interesting to hear Curtis saying the difference this season, to Joleon's question, is the trust. That, to be trusted in a game like that, away at the champions today, with Gakpo on the bench and Nunes and Jota on the bench.
Yeah, and with trust comes confidence. If you feel the trust of your manager, it gives you confidence. If you feel the trust of the fans and your fellow players, it gives you confidence. They give you the ball in tight situations because they trust you, because they see you on the training ground. So, the only way that's going to come is for you to show them your ability, your mentality every day in the training ground. And with that, then, it's reciprocated. And yeah, he's getting shown that trust, that confidence, and his game is blossoming for it.
And we've seen it with City and Phil Foden, what it means to a local boy, a fan of the club, to come through and become virtually a senior player.
Yeah, I think all of us are fans of football, and your ambition is to win titles, but to do it with your homegrown team, it'll be extra special for him. And as I said, his family is very passionate about Liverpool as a city in general, but regarding this opportunity to go on and go down in one of the greatest seasons in their recent history, with the potential of Champions League as well. So, and like he said, it's important to him that he's playing a pivotal role, not just a bit part player this season. He can contribute in a number of some roles.
Right, we've heard his version when you asked him of the corner routine. We've heard Szoboszlai and Mo Salah as well. Let's have another look at it.
Yeah.
What do we think? Where do we? Do you think Curtis Jones was involved in this?
Well, I can totally understand, because this is not an easy layoff from Szoboszlai. It's coming at him quite quick, and obviously you've got to do these things fast. But I think the plan is for it to go to Mo Salah. But I can totally understand that in training he might have got a bit too much on the layoff, and it went to Curtis Jones. You can see Curtis Jones just by the referee there. So if the ball was a little bit straighter, if he got a little bit more on it, then he would have been there and striking it. But as it happens, he only got a little bit on it, didn't he? Yeah, it was perfect. And it just shaved across a couple of the Man City players. Rico Lewis nearly got it there, see. But I think that was absolutely planned. This is a great angle. You can see Robertson, the front post, pinning his man. The three players along the 6-yard box, pinning their man. It's really well worked.
Yeah, the timing of it is impeccable. The way that Virgil just walks in slow and then they'll pick up the pace as soon as Alistair is running towards the ball. But I think Curtis is there more of a safety net, like Mo said. If he overhits the cutback, he's there to tap it in, and his angle on the right foot would have been equally as important as Mo's with his left.
Yeah, covered both bases there, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because it was a hard layoff, isn't it?
It was, and it worked. I mean, you couldn't have worked it any better, could you? Because Szoboszlai's touch was lovely. Mo didn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to. He's not leaning back. He gets over the ball. I mean, they get a bit of fortune with the deflection, but it worked perfectly well.
Yeah, and you heard him speaking there. He's hit 30 goals in all competitions, 5th time in his Liverpool career. I mean, you can appreciate those numbers. You can appreciate how difficult it is to get to those consistent numbers.
It's incredible. Consistency is unbelievable. I mean, yeah, what can you say about the lad? I mean, he's just a total machine. I mean, he never, ever gets injured. He's got a great attitude. Never hear a peep out of him. Of course, obviously, this contract situation is another thing. But in terms of playing, it's just been year after year after year, a constant source of goals. You know that he's, send him out there and he's virtually going to score in every game. It is quite incredible. And we joke about it. It is the hardest thing in football to score goals. and to do it consistently like he does, it's beyond, you know, there's only a handful of people that can ever do it, let alone, you know, can do it now. So yeah, hats off to him. It's quite incredible. His
dedication to his job as well is really important. You know, people speak about Cristiano Ronaldo, how he looks after himself, and Cristiano's a bit more in the public eye, doesn't he? You know, the Mo is very reserved, and quiet, and humble, and stays out of the limelight. But his dedication to the sport and how he looks after himself and what he eats and what he puts in his body and how he recovers is really important to Liverpool, because all the young lads are looking up to him, because he's an elder statesman now, him and Virgil, and they've got these people to look up to, and they could be playing at 37, 38, 39. So you know, they're teaching everybody below them the right lessons, how to really do well in this sport.
Yeah, and he just needs one more goal, and he'll be in the top 3 of all-time Liverpool Football Club goal scorers. Now, our statistical department has been having a look at projected numbers here for Mo Salah this season. He's on 25 goals in the Premier League, projected to get 35, which would just be 1 short of Erling Haaland's record. Well, you can take the assists and the goal assists away from me, Michael. You're far more over that than I am. But he's on course, they think, to break the assists record and indeed the assists and goals combined record.
Yeah. Let's hope he doesn't get injured then, because that'll be worthless, won't it? But yeah, I mean, it
depends. It's going to depend on what stage of the season, and if they're in the Champions League, and if they already sewn up the league, do you then rest him?
Do you start resting him?
All the best trying to do that when he's going for all those records.
I think it's more important to him that he gets all the trophies than the personal accolades, especially if it's 35 goals and someone's done it. I think he would rather be fit for the Champions League and get 30 goals than risk being injured. So, as I said, they're a great opportunity for him to etch his history, his bit in history, but I'm sure he's focused on the trophies.
And when he signed, if you'd said Mo Salah's going to be, in 8 seasons, in the top 3 Liverpool all-time record goal scorers, I mean...
If you'd said in the top 103, I wouldn't have probably believed you. I mean, genuinely, he wasn't a goal... You know, he was a really poor finisher at Chelsea, you know, at Basel before he came.
Roma.
At Roma, he started showing signs of scoring goals, which was unbelievable. But, I mean, you could argue that it might have been a flash in the pan. You know, for the cynics, they might have said, well, I've seen him before, doesn't really look like a goal scorer to me. So he did show signs and then obviously hit the ground running. But even then, after 1 year, people were thinking that was just a one-off. He can't do that again. And he has done it and done it and done it and done it and done it.
Particularly when he plays as well, doesn't he? He's not, you know, you have to remember, he's not a number 9.
Same as his best season for Roma was 19.
Yeah.
He hadn't even scored 20 goals for Roma when Liverpool signed him.
No, I mean, Liverpool tried to get him from Basel, didn't he, before Chelsea got him? So Liverpool have always been interested in him, so they've always saw something in him. But I don't think anybody, as a right winger, and that's what he is, he's a right winger, but he plays centrally, could envisage what he's done in this time he's been at Liverpool. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal numbers. Considering there's so many other great centre-forwards around them, Liverpool have got 6 really good forwards. So the fact that he's still dominating all those records, you know, when Firmino, when Mane was here, he was the one still dominating the numbers. And he's continued to do so. It's exemplary, Yeah,
and he had a nice little hand in Szoboszlai's goal as well. And you praise Curtis Jones here because he kind of got out of the way, didn't he, to make sure that he wasn't in the goalkeeper's line.
Yeah, that was the only danger. As soon as the ball went in, I thought, Curtis Jones in an offside position there. If he's in the line of sight of the goalkeeper, it might be disallowed, but you can see he knows it himself. He puts his arms out as if to say, nothing to do with anything here. And he wasn't in the line of the sight of the goalkeeper. So, yeah, but Mo Salah, good timing, good pace on the pass. Szoboszlai lets it come across his body, keeps it hard and low, and this is the angle where we see that Curtis Jones is not in line with the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper gets a perfectly good sight of it, and it's a fair goal.
He had a really good game, actually, Szoboszlai, didn't he? He had a goal and an assist. He nearly had another assist for Curtis Jones, but he was just slightly offside. But his energy levels were good. He's a very good runner, as we know. And there's no surprise that he was shattered at the end of the game when he said he was really tired. But I thought he had a really good game today. Very dedicated to the role, very organised. But when he wanted, he broke forward a lot.
And defensively, how mentally tiring is that in your City? And we saw them at the end, even 4 or 5 powering forward on the break.
Yeah, it's very rare they waste runs, especially Mo Salah. I think we all give him credit for his finishing, his assist, his set-up play, but in terms of his timing of his runs and his willingness to do it, and he doesn't waste them. He doesn't think, I'm just going to create space for someone else. He goes with the determination to get in and then contribute when he's there. So I think that's another factor to his game that is probably unnoticed because he scores so many goals.
As we know, but the return of Doku was one. Yeah. And he gave Trent Alexander-Arnold an uncomfortable afternoon, didn't he?
Yeah, very uncomfortable, but the scoreline would overshadow that. So that's an opportunity for me, from a personal ex-player's point of view. It's an opportunity to learn without the consequences of a defeat. I think I'd look at that and realise where could I improve. And as you said, from the first minute, Doku was getting at Trent in a variety of ways. And yeah, there could have been teammates that could have supported him and helped him out, but I still feel he could have helped himself out by creating a scenario where it was more predictable for a teammate. Like I said, you're not going to be able to tackle the winger or the forward every time, but what you can do is make it predictable. So your teammate behind you, if you can't hear you or you're not able to communicate and say, well, I'm showing him the line, so if he goes inside, you're there, or if I'm showing him inside and he goes line, you're there. So I think there was more than one opportunity covered him in regards to blocking crosses that would have looked a lot more worse for Trent.
They didn't do a lot wrong today, I thought, Manchester City. I thought they played OK, but you just knew they were just going to be short. You know, they were just going to fall short against Liverpool. They're a different team. If they have Rodri in and Erling Haaland in, you know, they'd have had a good chance. But when you looked at the starting 11, you know, City played a lot better today than they did against Real Madrid. A lot better. They were more competitive. They kept the ball. You couldn't say like he had a bad game or he had a bad game. They were all very good. It's just that they were just lacking something that they're not the same potent City as they were last year or the year before. A lot of the lads look as if they're just getting a little bit old all at the same time. And then when you lose two players that you really rely on, it's a problem. It looks worse than it is.
Yeah, and there you go. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Michael, dribbled past 11 times, 10 by Jeremy Doku, and that's the most for 10 years in a Premier League game.
Yeah, I mean, Doku is a player that will go at you. I mean, it's, you know, not every wide player is like that nowadays, really. Not many dribblers around. So, you know, if it's going to be someone, it's going to be him. And, of course, it is Trent's weakness. So he would have been targeting him a little bit there. But, yeah, I'm sure Trent could have done better. But at the end of the day, he'll be looking at it thinking, we kept a clean sheet, we won the game. Yeah. Who cares?
Absolutely. And here is Manchester City's returning man, Jeremy Doku.
You had quite a lot of success against your fullback, against Trent Alexander-Arnold. Why, as a group, really, and an attacking part of the team, why weren't you able to turn those good moments into something more?
I don't know. I think it's the final pass. Is the I don't know. It's a good question because obviously I passed a lot of times. Then the most important is to create something after that. I played some good balls in front of the goal, but obviously, we have to score. So I have to analyze this game and see what I can do better and what we can do better as a team.
Jeremy Doku with Shaun Wright-Phillips-like dribbles today. And let's go to the man himself at the Etihad Stadium. Doku was a bright spot, but overall, what did you make of it, Shaun?
For me, it was a strange game. I thought in phases and in spells, I thought City looked quite comfortable in respect, but I felt Liverpool were just so efficient. When they go to attack, they go with the threat of scoring, and today that's exactly what they did. They got two chances early on, well, not such early on, but they're deadly in those positions, the well-worked corner and then the play up for Salah's set and the finish again, and that's what I think City in many ways were worried about. But overall in the half, I felt that they managed it quite well in that respect.
Is it as simple to say Liverpool did to City today what City have been doing to so many for 6-7 seasons?
Steve, that is probably the best way to do it. They don't need that many chances, and when you have Salah on the form that he's in, you can mark him at the game for the best part of the whole game if you want, but if you give him 30 seconds and he has a little bit of time to either pick a pass or take that opportunity and put it in the back of the net, he's been doing that this season time and time again, and people keep saying that, can he get better? He always finds a way to get better and better and improve his game to help his teammates plus himself. Yeah, and we spoke before the game about the absence of Haaland. There were times where City were in positions and didn't have anyone in the penalty area. Steve, what was weird today is when Haaland is playing, they don't actually cross the ball. Haaland's not playing, you got Phil Foden as the number 9, and they was chucking crosses into the box, which Virgil and Konate were just eating up. I felt like if they were going to cross the ball, I felt like they needed to be low and hard and hold possibly. If they do block it, it's not a clean block and they might get a ricochet which could possibly cause an own goal. But I thought the Liverpool defence that overall defended those balls in the box pretty well.
Spurs away Wednesday. I mean, all the City players and Pep Guardiola have spoken about the importance of Champions League football next season. That's now got to be their big focus, along with the FA Cup, obviously.
I think that focus became apparent after that they lose to Real Madrid in the Champions League. That is all that they need to worry about now for me. Of course, they're in the FA Cup. I think they got Plymouth at home, which they will want to win, and I believe they should win that comfortably. But now it's on to Spurs, who they need to go and win and put in another performance and try and get the result off the back of it.
Top man, Shaun. Safe trip home.
Thank you.
Good to see you at the Etihad Stadium. When we come back, we will get the managerial views. Of course, Arne Slot winning on his...
Well, Arne, Liverpool not won here in the Premier League in a decade. You've come and done it at the first attempt. Let's start with the how. How did you do it today?
By scoring a set piece. If you want to win a big game, at least what you need is a neutral set piece balance, or score one and not concede. That's what we did. And we defended. Yeah, if you come here, you have to defend. We defended really well with so many players constantly around the ball, and that's why we could keep them away from big chances, because that they will have ball possession is clear. But you have to make sure that they can't create as much as they normally do.
Who deserves credit for the set piece? It looked, if you don't mind me saying, a little bit Bournemouth inspired. They scored one against Arsenal earlier in the season that I think you might have taken note of.
Yeah, now you tell me, I remember that one. It wasn't inspired by that. It's not me. It's we as a group of people look at how the setup is, and then in this situation, someone came up with a brilliant plan. It wasn't me, and and we knew that space could be there, and we trained it yesterday, and now because of a deflection, it went in, and that's so helpful, because it wasn't that we were dominating the game.
It's quite an interesting tactical matchup, particularly at the beginning. It looked like City did something different with Foden up top, maybe sacrificing control in midfielders for attacking players. And you did something different as well with kind of 2 10s. So what was the thinking, and how did you feel that played out?
No, first half played out better for them than for us, apart from the score, of course, because we were 2-0 up, but they were dominating the game. I felt also in the first half that, not that they had that many big chances, but it felt as if they could score any moment, because we weren't really comfortable. And then we could set it up at halftime a bit clearer what we wanted from the players. And that helped us, I think, a lot, because in the second half, I cannot remember them having a big chance.
So did you feel like overall that you controlled it and managed it as you wanted, or just from what you're saying there, that actually they kind of forced you back more than you wanted?
Ideally, we have the ball more than the other team. That's what we are till now, maybe every single game we've played. But City is, when it comes to ball possession, the most difficult one to play against, because they like it a lot and they have players that are so comfortable on the ball. So I told before the game, the only chance you have to win here is you defend really well. So yes, we try to play as good as we can with the ball. But if we're not on top of our game defensively, you have no chance to win here, because they're too comfortable with the ball.
Okay, so that's kind of the how. Let's get to what it means. What does it mean? Because it feels, with what happened yesterday with Arsenal, like a huge weekend, like the weekend we might all look back on and say, yeah, that's where they clinched it.
Yeah, 3 days ago we had a draw at Villa, and people told me we were not in a good place. And now, for all of a sudden, 3 days later, it's exactly the opposite again. I know what we have to do to win our games. You could see it today, how hard we had to work. And there are 11 games to go, and if these players are able to keep on working this hard, we have a chance. Let that be clear. But like I said, we work every single day so hard to achieve this, that it's 3 months of very hard work to hopefully keep the results going as they are now.
So like you said, 11 games to go, 11 points clear. What is the key to managing it? You've done it before. You've won a title in Holland. So what's the secret?
Actually, there's not such a big secret. It's what I just said. We're 11 points clear, but Arsenal has 1 game in hand. So, what we did today, work as hard as we can and play the football in certain moments we did really well today is also, I think, the best attack we had didn't end up in a goal. That started right with Trent and ended with Trent with an overlap. So it was a great attack, and you always have to adapt to the challenge you got. So if you play City away, it's a totally different challenge than if you play Plymouth Argyle away or Wolves at home. So a week ago, we experienced how difficult Wolves at home was. So 11 games to go, and they will all be difficult like the one today.
So it sounds like your job is, like we'd call it, keeping a lid on it. You know, media gets excited, you're going to get loads of questions about it. The fans get excited. You can't, the players can't, because you're the ones who've got to go out and get the results.
No, but it's also easier for us not to get excited because we know what we have to put in. And maybe the fans just simply look at the two goals we scored and like, wow. And they don't look at all the work rate we've done to get this result, because this result was more about defense than it was about attack. So that's why it's normal for fans, every fan base that from a team that's leading the league, they are positive. And it's up to us to understand why we are where we are, and these boys know really well, I think.
Well done today.
Thank you.
It was very interesting from Arne Slot and the hard work. Obviously, he alluded to 2 or 3 times. Also, in his press conference, going back to the free kick that he was talking about, and we've shown you there, he has named Aaron Briggs for all the credits. Now, Aaron Briggs is an individual first-team development coach with Liverpool, who, Joleon, you know, used to work for 9 years at Manchester City.
Yeah, someone I've worked with as well, working at the club. Someone's passionate about developing players, and then bespoke his dedication to set pieces, and has worked in Germany and France. So it doesn't surprise me that the attention to detail he's been given that responsibility, because that's something he specialises in.
It was his idea to utilise that space for the first goal. Right, let's look at the fixtures remaining, because we've worked out, obviously, that Arsenal would need Liverpool, as well as winning all their games, to lose 4 of their remaining 11 games. And let me tell you, in the Premier League, Liverpool have lost 5 of their last 76 Premier League games. So I think that gives you the size of the dream for Arsenal.
And also, Liverpool have got 4 away games and 7 at Anfield, including Arsenal. You know, 7 at Anfield.
Yeah, but everyone was talking about that Arsenal game being pivotal in May. It could all be over by then.
Yeah. But they've got them at home as well, which will help if it does get that close. But the fact that Liverpool got 7 home games and 4 away, you know, again, that's a big plus point for them as well, isn't it, when you look at it?
I'm taking that to see if Arsenal win all their remaining games.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, I don't think that's a realistic goal or aim for Arsenal. So it's more likely they do that than Liverpool lose 4. But I don't see Liverpool losing.
I mean, Arsenal's
4.
next 3 are really difficult on paper when you look at it, don't you? 2 away games and then Chelsea. So, you know, this is another big week ahead, isn't it? You know, they have to go from one game to the other straight away. So we'll wait and see. But you know, Liverpool, it looks really, really positive.
What a position.
It's not the hardest run-in for Liverpool either.
Look at that and the numbers. What a position they're in still in February.
Yeah, no, this weekend, as we've mentioned it before, that it was really pivotal. I mean, it could have been 5 points, and with the 2 teams, Arsenal and Liverpool, playing each other, you know, all of a sudden you think, wow. I mean, if the results had gone the other way this weekend, if if Arsenal had beat West Ham and Liverpool had lost, it would have been in Arsenal's hands. Yes. 5 points, and they were playing each other. I mean, incredible how it can sort of turn around so quickly. So it would have. It's been a pivotal weekend, and I think we will look back and say this was the final nail in the coffin, really, for Liverpool winning the Premier League this season. Big weekend.
OK, here is the Manchester City manager, who, for the first time in the Premier League at the Etihad, has lost at home to Liverpool. Pep Guardiola.
Well, Pep, a tough day against your old rivals, certainly in terms of the result. How would you sum up the way the game actually unfolded?
We played really good. We arrived, I don't know how many times in the byline, closing the 18. Maybe we missed to be more productive in the shoots, or maybe, you know, people in the middle arrive more in the box. But now we play against a fantastic team, a really, really good performance. Of course, the game in the first half will be more open. It was 50-50, and of course, good set pieces and the chances that we had. And we could not convert. The second half, the defense was so deep. With transitions always are dangerous, but we controlled really well, except one obstruction that always happen. So, but against that team, we what we have done or we have tried for many years. So bring the opponent in their box and try to beat them there.
It was quite an interesting tactical game in the early part. Looked like Liverpool did something different. We spoke before the match. You did something slightly different. You dropped your controlling midfielders in Bernardo and Gundogan, played more attacking, played Foden through the middle. Did you feel tactically that setup worked for you?
The target was drop them and arrive in the final third for many times in the byline. How many times happened? A lot. And after that, we missed that. And because the most difficult is arrive when a team's defense so deep, like they happen. We make a good build up and left side when they happen to drop them there. What's next? And next we miss it a little bit because it's not easy. The 10 players in the box, but and of course with the crosses it's almost impossible to do it because the sides of the central defenders. But in that moment, the pass and the shoot from outside, we could not find that the next step that we try to find when we drop and we arrive in the byline like we had done.
Did you target that left-hand side with Jeremy against Trent? Was that a plan?
No, but Savinho have done the same. How many times Savinho arrived in the final third? So I know we have a good wingers. They defend inside, and of course Salah defend today much more than the previous games. Like stay more up front, and the team was. Listen, I know the people don't believe me, but I know when the people, because I have a little experience to know that team when we play good, really good, and today was a really good performance.
So you've played your two old rivals this week. Real Madrid, your big rivals in the Champions League. Liverpool, who have been your big rivals in the Premier League. What have you learned? What has it taught you?
That if you had to lose, you had to lose the way we lose today. And in Madrid it was much better. So I think both games are bad. I saw many things that this club has a bright future with the players that we have. So, except Kevin, all the players are, and maybe Nathan, all the players are so young, and they have a good dynamics. And what the club is going to decide in the next future, we have a bright future for this club in the next years.
So is that the key, actually, out of today? I think you had 3 January transfer signings who started the game, all did well. Actually, maybe this was the first step for a new city, a new Man City.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows that a part, an area is for the old players will be there, will be here next season, but had to build for the next step. So it's normal. It's a question of time. But today, again, the amount of absence that we have, and even with that, we play really good against that team. I didn't see this season bring the Liverpool in the way they play most of the time. Of course, when they're in the ball, when it's special connection, Alexander-Arnold with Salah, Alexander-Arnold in the middle. So Alexander-Arnold is the best midfielder. So playing in a fullback, so they break the lines, they can break behind your back, and the runners that they have, Luis Diaz, Salah, Szoboszlai, and after Gapco, so it's a really threat. But we bring them there, and always I miss is in the final third when we arrive there. That is depends a little bit the talent, the quality to dribble one and shoot or one crosses in the right moment, knowing that is not easy. But from there we'll build maybe the future.
Okay, so last question then: how much will it take to get this new Man City back up to Liverpool's level? Not just on a one-off game, but over a 38-game season.
No, we're away. We're far away. We'll see in the future. So what we have done in this previous seasons have been good, but now we are away from them. But we knew it. But the way we behave and we play with the personality we play was really good.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Well, he's coming up fighting. Pep Guardiola, most defeats ever in any of his managerial seasons. They've lost 14 of 27 games. They lost 14 of the previous 154. That is so much the uncharted territory we're in. But you've heard him there talking about the new Man City and the bright future. Yeah,
you would like to think so, that he's developing players and getting them mentally and physically prepared for for posing a title challenge next season. And this is probably the opportunity to do that. Mentally, you can learn a lot about yourself and your team. When times are hard, I think it's easier to just keep going when you're winning things. And as you said, you probably don't learn as much about yourself. But in regards to today's performance and this week, like I said, they haven't. I think in the past when they've lost games, teams have been slightly lucky. That hasn't been the case against Real Madrid and Liverpool. They deservedly won both games or lost both games and haven't looked in control. I know they have a lot of possession, but like Pep said, they get into the byline, and I don't think enough players recognise that Doku had the better of Trent and gambled enough early on to kind of pose a threat for them, Kane and Van Dijk. So I think there's still elements to the game they're still short on.
Are you fascinated the way he goes about this job of a sort of mini rebuild?
Yes, actually, I thought he'd be leaving at the end of the season. So when Cheeky Bagiristan's leaving, so the fact that he did sign a new contract suggests he's here for of course, for a while. He didn't necessarily have to rebuild at Barca. He certainly didn't do it at Bayern. So it'll be interesting to see what he does and how long it takes, because this is a blip, isn't it? To lose to Real Madrid and they get knocked out of that tournament very early on for Manchester City. That was a blow. And they've lost again today. They're 20 points behind Liverpool. And there'll be people leaving, won't they? We presume that a lot of the midfielders are getting that, they're not going to improve and get quicker. And they have had a lot of injuries this year as well. So they'll have to get on top of all that. But it'll be intriguing to see what he does and who he brings in.
Are all with the future in mind? Well, Marmoush's 26, but the others are all with the future in mind.
Yeah, and again, I don't know how much Pep has to say on the signings. I think he recruits positions and then the club will identify the personnel. So in regards to recognising the talent, I think his job is to improve them and develop them individually. But in terms of the signings, I'm sure the club recognise what's needed. Whether you get that personnel right is different. I don't think the club have missed many in recent years. I think all the recruits, the recruitment has been very solid. And as I said, now it's a different task because they've always had a quality of team and a confidence in a squad that has been challenging. So when you are put into that situation, it's easier to adapt to where I think now players are having to learn on job, especially the defending elements to it, and it's slightly more difficult.
But he sounds up for the challenge, Pep, doesn't he?
Well, he does. I mean, this could be the hardest moment of his managerial career, you'd say. As Mac has touched on, I mean, he basically walked into ready-made, brilliant teams, and he is great, don't get me wrong, but he's had great teams. Now, all of a sudden, they're not a great team as things stand. Lost 14 out of the last 27 games. I mean, that's not great. That's that's an average team, of course. So this will be a big challenge for him, rebuilding a new team, the recruitment, coaching them the way he wants to coach them. It's going to be fascinating to see if they can bounce back. I mean, if the season was starting tomorrow from fresh again, I wouldn't be having them at all on my mind in terms of having a chance of winning the Premier League as things stand. So it's going to have to be a quick rebuild, and that might be a little bit fanciful. Might take a year or 2 or 3 years, you never know. So fascinating. Rodri coming back is obviously going to be massive, but they're still going to need a fair win behind them.
Palmeiras e Gabriel Jesus, entre sonho e realidade. Desde que deixou o Palmeiras em 2017, Gabriel Jesus consolidou-se como uma referência no futebol europeu. Atualmente no Arsenal, o atacante é lembrado pelos torcedores alviverdes como um dos maiores talentos revelados pelo clube. A presidente Leila Pereira sonha com seu retorno, especialmente com o Super Mundial de Clubes de 2025 à vista, mas as chances parecem cada vez mais remotas. O principal entrave é financeiro. Gabriel Jesus recebe um salário anual de 13,8 milhões de libras, cerca de 8 milhões de reais mensais, valor completamente incompatível com os padrões do futebol brasileiro. Além disso, o Arsenal só aceitaria uma negociação definitiva por no mínimo 50 milhões de euros, aproximadamente 295 milhões de reais. Mesmo um empréstimo, que exigiria auxílio financeiro do clube inglês, foi considerado inviável. Apesar disso, Leila Pereira buscou informações com o Arsenal, mas as negociações não avançaram. Os números estão fora da realidade. Neste momento, as chances são praticamente nulas, admitiu a presidente. Gabriel, aos 27 anos, ainda é muito valorizado na Europa e prioriza sua permanência no continente. Enquanto isso, a torcida alviverde mantém a esperança de um dia ver o ídolo novamente vestindo a camisa do Palmeiras, clube onde conquistou títulos importantes e marcou sua história.